Morning all, how's it going? Guys, today is March 20th. I'm recording this video to update the market scenario. Yesterday we had the FOMC meeting. The Fed decided to keep interest rates unchanged. There were no adjustments. The market initially reacted optimistically. Now the market is moving down about 2%. Bitcoin is down 2% today and Ethereum is down 3%. 0.02% today from the left R33, 0.03. I'm going to update you on my market outlook, what could happen. Yesterday, Bitcoin activated a position we had in the short region of 87,500. I shared it with you in the community. I shared the short position with you in the community, right? In the VIP community, I provided detailed information, while in the free community, I usually share some analyses, not all of them. I share some to let people get to know our work and also to help those who are just starting out or even those who already have experience. So the analysis I shared with you was this. Bitcoin was in the 83,000 range. I sent you the possibility of Bitcoin sweeping the internal liquidity that was in the 86 and 700 area. And we also had a CME gap that needed to be closed. So within the community, I shared a short position in the 80-7500 range where there was a valid order block, a good structure, and internal liquidity. So we had some validations. There was also a buying area, but the market decided not to mitigate that area and to seek higher liquidity first. So before sweeping the internal liquidity of the range, which would be the liquidity from this accumulation, that strongly coincided with the closing of the CME gap, it would be in this area. The gap closure happened yesterday as well, around 86,400. So after the closing of this gap, everyone believes that they will sell at the gap. Usually the market would sell at the gap. Retail traders would sell at the gap. However, the market usually liquidates these people, mitigates an institutional area that exists above, and then makes the move. So here too in the market, what we can notice is that before the market mitigated this order block and swept the internal liquidity of the structure, it generated liquidity in the form of a rounded top, a triple top in this case. So there were some confirmations for us to take that short. This short is already paying about 3%, okay? We now have internal liquidity to be swept in the 83,500 area, which is where I will probably make a partial exit by reducing my exposure. Because we also have a structure here, a boss that was formed here, which I can consider as a valid boss. Why? Because the market swept away the internal liquidity of these two funds, of this accumulation, mitigated the order block, made the movement, broke this structure, broke this topper, creating a boss. So the market could easily come here to mitigate this optical region that is right above this liquidity between 83 and 82,400 and make the move. But it will depend on the strength of this movement here and whether this movement will generate liquidity, because there always has to be liquidity generation to capture liquidity, and because liquidity is the fuel, so the market captures that liquidity, sweeps the liquidity, and makes the original movement, the movement that the structure shows us. But if the market really swept a lot of liquidity above, mitigated a good supply zone, and started a strong downward movement here, I believe that Bitcoin could sweep down to the 79,000 area and even reach the 78,000 region. 79,000 is down to the 78,000 area. 79,000 is down to the 78,000 area. 79,000 is down to the 78,000 area. But let's see how the market will develop for now, okay? In Bitcoin, that's what we have. But I think what's interesting is to wait for the next movements that the price will make, so we can see the volume and how this movement will unfold. Now for Ethereum, okay? I'm already looking at Ethereum with a higher time frame chart. Why? Because the LTF chart of Bitcoin or Ethereum, I'm sorry, it's not that clear. What we have here